Hi there, and welcome to the wonderful world of Draw With Me. It is a pleasure to have you here. Today we're going to do some drawing, as we do every Thursday. We just draw, I don't know, whatever junk I come up with to draw. And today we are going to be drawing playing cards. What, you say? Playing cards? What are you playing at, man? You'll see. It's going to be probably the most fun you've ever had while sitting in front of a computer. Am I wrong, JJ?
Never wrong. You're always right.
And as are you, particularly just then. Yes, well, so last week was an amazing Santa explosion. Well, that's not the way to put it. But anyway, last week was of course Christmas, and last Thursday in Draw With Me, we drew Santas. I drew sort of a bipolar selection of Santas, one kind of down and mystified, and one overly exuberant. And then I saw everything that you guys drew, and I thought, why am I even bothering to show you anything? Because you're clearly so much more accomplished than I am. Check it out. What do you think?
So cute. So much personality and style.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very nice.
I think people were inspired by the fact that you did one where you tried really hard and you did one where you just went for it. And I think a lot of people, took the pressure off themselves to just have fun. It shows.
Yeah, but some were very finessed and quite polished and accomplished. Very nice.
Yes, well, we have the most talented group of artists on the planet.
It's absolutely true.
Here at Draw With Me.
So lots of people here. We've got Nadine from Cape Town, Lorraine from Malta, Carolina from Germany.
I saw Greece. I saw India. I saw Poland. I saw the Philippines.
Yes,
Geshe cool?
From Lesbos.
Yeah, I saw the Netherlands. I mean, I can't tell you how much it pleases me greatly. Plus, from almost every U.S. state, I don't think I've seen Hawaii, but I saw Alaska, Sweden, England, South Africa. That is just, come on. Group hug. I do. Where else can you go that you can spend an hour with like-minded people and just do something fun for yourself?
It's true. And Lorraine says that you look fabulous.
Aww.
Finally, she says. Hold on, that's my wife you're talking about, man.
Lorraine, you look pretty cute in your photo, I have to say. Thank you for the compliment.
Yes, all right. Well, that's enough self-congratulations.
Yes, it is.
Let's talk about something even more exceptional, which is Hahnemühle's watercolor postcards.
Watercolor postcards. We only get to do postcards once a year, and we always look forward to it.
Yeah, so these watercolor postcards, basically, they come in a beautiful little tin, and they are little slices of gorgeous watercolor paper with room for an address on the back, and you can make your own postcards and send them off. But today I'm going to be using these same shapes to make playing cards, because they actually happen to be the shape of a playing card.
Yeah, we kind of had that thought last night, like, oh, wouldn't it be fun? I mean, we kind of toyed with the idea maybe we'd have a poker night and we would send these out as invitations, right? How cute is that?
Yeah.
Don't you want to join us?
Just means I have to make 52 of them,
well,
plus jokers.
No, we're just doing the face cards.
Well, so as JJ says, we have 7 of these that we're going to be raffling off.
How generous is this sponsor?
7 of these, and they come in this like really nice metal box and all.
They're just awesome.
They're very nice. So we're going to be giving away 7 of them. If you'd like to be one of the 7 lucky winners, write to us at DWM. That's Draw With Me, DWM at sketchbookschool.com. And send us your mailing address. It has to be a U.S. mailing address. I'm sorry for those of you who aren't in America, but we're sponsored by Hahnemuhle USA. You can always write to us send us a watercolor postcard of your own if you'd like. We would be glad to receive it. So playing cards are, it's funny because when we first started talking about this yesterday, I was like, I've tried drawing playing cards a couple times. And
your reaction was, it's hard.
Well, here's why it's hard, okay? Here's why it's hard. It's hard, let me go to just me. It's hard because when you look at this too carefully, it becomes, you can get super persnickety about it because there's a lot of complex patterns and stuff like that in there. And, it can become too much. And so what I have done is I've experimented for this project is I've tried to be loose, not to copy every perfect line. Because honestly, these look like they were drawn with a ruler or something like that. And we don't want to do that. I mean, you may want to do that. That may be your thing. Cool. But it's not my thing because I don't have a ruler as a rule. So this is a beautiful combination of weird color, texture, pattern things. And that's kind of the guide. So we're going to make something that is whatever version of a card you'd like to do. Then there is a tradition of artists making playing cards, right? I mean, we have
a few sets that.
Yeah. In fact, there was a time where I was collecting lots and lots of cards because I was going to make a book about the incredible designs and like even the origins of these, which I think are French, but like these kind of classic designs are something that have become kind of they're convention now, like that this is what each of these guys looks like. And there's all kinds of iconography, like why does the King of Hearts stab himself in the head and what do these things mean, and why does the Jack of Hearts have an axe and he's also holding a little plume there. So lots of different things that go into it. So you could create your own, I mean, there's no rules. I would say I'm going to do something that's going to be reasonably conventional, but I don't know. I don't know what it's going to turn out to be like. You never know. That we'll see where the cards fall, as they say. So I'm going to focus on these 3. I feel like a magician. I'd love to be a magician. That'd be so cool. I think it's these 3. So Jack of Hearts and the
Laying with the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, the Jack of Hearts, the Queen of Diamonds,
but why?
And the King of Clubs. Why did I choose those?
There's a theme song for the Queen of Hearts, but whatever.
I have my reasons.
Okay.
I think my reasons are that I've already drawn the Queen of Hearts, so I want to draw something different.
I see. Okay, fair enough.
So that's about the size of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one up on the screen. Here we go. There's a Jack of Hearts. So we have a nice big piece of reference to work from. But yeah, as I said, I was working on a book of just all the different designs. And they're cool military cards. Like they used to give out these decks of cards to members of the military that would help them to identify planes.
Hey, the reference is like a little off screen on my version. You see it? Jack needs to come down south.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Scroll up your screen.
Oh, yeah, sorry. User error.
She gets by on her looks. All right, so yeah, so they're called like airplane identification cards. I've seen just lots of different ones. There's superhero ones, there's cartoon ones, all kinds of things. So, all right, so everybody is fine. JJ's fixed her problem, and we are ready to move.
I fixed one of my problems.
So I've tried this in a few different ways. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to do a drawing in ink, and then I'm going to use watercolor and colored pencil probably.
Cool.
To just...
Someone asked a question in the chat, Elizabeth. I'm not sure I know the answer. She was asking if you're sending these cards in the mail, do you need to wax them?
No, I don't think so.
I don't believe we were going to... Sort of like part of the charm is, they get
well,
there.
Yeah, they get some stuff on them. They might get some stuff on them. Yeah, I mean, if they get wet, but usually the Postal Service is pretty good about...
I mean, we live in Phoenix.
But they're used to delivering... They're used to delivering...
rain hazard.
But they're used to delivering paper.
Yeah.
So I think it's not going to be a problem. And I've certainly sent a lot of these, and they're fine.
I think it's safe to say our approach is usually less is more, right?
But part of the art of it is that it gets a bit, it shows its travels.
Shows it's homemade.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. So okay, so let me just explain what I'm doing here. So I'm just drawing. I'm going to start by drawing the frame. And when you draw your J, make sure that it's kind of narrow, because otherwise you can end up with a big fat gutter on this side. And bear in mind also that you're going to have the J here. In fact, I taped this down because I thought that would be smart. But now I'm realizing, and it's actually not great for the paper either. Okay, so now I've damaged the paper. So the reason I'm untaping it is because I'm going to have to swivel this back and forth, because this card is essentially the same on both sides, right? So you have to kind of go back and forth like this a lot. So try not to damage the paper like I just did. But
couldn't you tape it from the underside?
But again, I need to move it all the time.
Right, true.
I'm just going to let me know if I kind of come off camera too much. So I'm going to draw this line up. I think I'm going to have to come down here, draw this line down. And again, you could do this with a ruler, you could do all that. I don't think it makes it nicer. Mine is, as you can see, a little... But
you do you. I'm sure we'll get some in the pre-roll next week that are just so, and that's cool too.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I'm going to start drawing him kind of coming down, but then I know, having done this a couple times before, that I'm probably going to end up...
improvising?
No, that I'm going to end up swiveling to the bottom periodically. And again, I'm going to try and make my own version of this guy. So he has a very particular look. Mine clearly is going to have a different look. But he's a Jack.
Your favorite name?
My favorite, well, it is the name, the only person I've ever named, I named Jack, so there you have it. He has a nice hipster stash there. And he has very, very nice hair, very neat, with a little kind of curlicue there, which is cute. And also, when you do this, you'll realize that you are going to have to draw this whole thing again. And it's up to you, really, how much you want them to be identical. I mean, he could have a totally different face on the other side, the other Jack. It's up to you. So there's my guy. And he has this axe over here. Down, and then there's just all this kind of complexity of these design elements, and that's, to me, really the fun part of this exercise. And these interesting hand positions. So he's got his thumb here holding this pen, and
Oh, is that a pen? You think it's
Yeah,
like
it's like a quill. I don't know if he's like the literary, the artistic Jack, because some of them are just like brutal, like I'm just holding a giant hammer or a knife or something like that. He's like, well, I do have an axe behind my back, but I'm going to pretend to be,
I've signed the treaty of your death. I've signed your death warrant.
He's like a mightier than this pen is mightier than the sword sort of guy, but he has a sword anyway, or at least an axe. A nice meaty axe. And, I tried doing this once where I just drew the whole thing in watercolor first and kept it super loose and then went over it with ink. And it was pretty good. It was kind of a style that I thought was interesting.
I mean, to me, I sort of love the fine pen getting all these little lines and details.
Yeah.
I think feels really satisfying.
Yeah, it's true. But that's what's nice about this exercise is it can... Do I keep saying that? I keep saying that's what's nice about this exercise. But... Are
you trying to talk yourself into it?
No, I just think that there's a lot of different parts to it. Because in a way, it's a very familiar thing, right? It's one of these... It's like so many things that we draw where it is kind of familiar, but yet you've never really looked at it like this, right? You've probably played cards thousands of times in your life.
It's true. I didn't even notice how trim and nice the hair was until you pointed it out. It's like, obviously.
I mean, have you ever noticed that they're so different from each other?
No.
Because this is the one-eyed Jack. Isn't that what this is called? The one-eyed Jack. Yeah, it's called the one-eyed Jack because he's in profile.
People in the chat have commented they're going to make theirs cats.
That's too bad.
Somebody else is going to use a fuzzy bathrobe.
Sorry to hear that.
I think it's great.
I
mean, I can't wait to see it.
Of course, I'm joking.
I know.
I have to mock cats whenever the opportunity comes up.
Well, we all know Danny actually loves cats, so let's not start a flame war about felines.
So, now I'm not going to completely fill this in yet because I think I'm going to swivel and start looking at the other side. It's kind of an interesting thing about colors too, is like, if you are going to go hog wild and go and do, cats in bathrobes or whatever. What was it? Bathrobes?
No, it was two separate submissions. Somebody was going to do cats.
And somebody was going to do
someone
bathrobes?
was going to have like fuzzy bathrobe and a glass of wine, that kind of deal.
Oh, I see.
Which,
well, just think if it was a
right
whole
to
deck,
me.
if it was a whole deck of cards, like what would the other ones be like? Would it all be people of leisure, or would there be there's a hardworking Jack and a jack off who just doesn't really do much, sits around in his bathrobe relaxing?
I think the queen maybe is enjoying a bathrobe.
Possibly.
The Jack's out here with his axe, doing her dirty work.
The knave of axes. All right, so now let's go around here, and we're going to do the whole thing again.
Fun times.
Well, it's going to be different.
The same but different.
The same but different. Let's see how different. It might be super different. Let's see. Yep, it's kind of different. So, are you ready to talk about New Year's Eve yet?
I mean, New Year's Eve is not a holiday we really celebrate. We kind of celebrate, now that we live in Arizona, we celebrate the New Year's of New York. And we go to bed at 10 p.m., which is...
pathetic.
I mean...
You do. I actually then get up and I party raucously.
I see.
Until the break of dawn.
Well,
you didn't know that, did you? No, you're slumbering in there. I'm out.
I'd be happy to miss it.
I'll be setting off fireworks this year. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, we just have someone come from Australia. That is cool. So,
is it the New Year already in Australia? Is it? How's 2024?
It's 4 a.m.
Oh, boy. See? That's a partier.
It's tomorrow.
That's a person after my own heart. Partying raucously. It's Friday in Australia. By the way, we've been watching a really great Australian TV show.
It's called
Mr.
Impossible?
Mr. In Between.
Mr. In Between.
Boy, it is,
Wow, is it ever good?
It's really hilarious. If you can watch it,
We were having withdrawal because we binge watched the entire 4 seasons of Barry, a show we were very late to the party to. But Mr. In Between is...
If you liked Barry, or if you
it's
liked...
filling the hole that Barry left. It's so good. It's so good.
If you like things like Better Call Saul, you'd like it too, I think.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough about crass mass media.
Shirley Zanes, love Mr. In Between. I'm telling
There
you,
you go. People,
this is the tip of the show. If you are
you'll be glad you
a viewer
came
of
to draw with
content
me.
and you need something new and you're wondering what on earth should I watch, it's just fantastic.
All right, so now you see, I'm getting to a place where I'm trying to marry these two shapes. So I've got to be just a little bit more careful and figure out how to get these two things. You see how I've already screwed up? These things are way far from each other. It's supposed to just be a little rectangle, but I'm not troubled by that. You know why? Because I'm an artiste. And I'm just going to create a new configuration in the middle here that joins them together, and nobody except for card scholars are going to ever know that I did this differently.
Card scholars.
Don't we have a set of Tim Burton cards?
Yes, we have Tim Burton. We have Tom Sachs. We have...
Can you find those and then maybe we can show them later on?
I literally just took them out of here right before the broadcast.
Get them back in here. That was your mistake.
I mean, I will be right back. See you later, folks.
All right. Now that she's gone. I'm joking. Yeah, so this is a little curve. See, it's not symmetrical side to side, left to right. There's definitely differences here, but I assume it's... But I always think it's kind of like money. You know, when you think about, like, who is the artist who sat around drawing the George Washington that's on the dollar, you know? What was that like? What was that whole art like as a creative experience, as a design project? What was that like? I've always been fascinated by that idea. Do you remember in the movie Fargo, there was a character who was painting a duck stamp.
A stamp, yeah.
Right? And it's like the same thing here. You think, like, who was it? What was it like for this person, maybe French, who did this? You know, what was it like?
So I'm just reading about playing cards from our friend Google. Mm-hmm. Playing cards were invented by the Chinese, of course.
Everything was invented by the Chinese.
Except
for Chinese food, strangely.
Before AD 1000. Wow. They reached Europe around 1360, not directly from China, but from the Mameluke Empire of Egypt.
Mameluke.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The history of suit marks demonstrates a fascinating interplay between words, shapes, and concepts.
Interesting. Mameluke. Yeah, so I've completely screwed something up here. I've ended up with this. So again, I'm just gonna fill it in with some stuff. It's just, I'm sure
that I think is, you know, it's like making marks. It's an opportunity to.
Yeah, I mean that's probably
just
a lot of this.
Fill in the space, right?
I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of, kind of like when they make money. There's a lot of stuff in here that is, you know, for security reasons, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, don't mark your cards and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Right, to prevent swindlers.
Cheating. And there's also different companies have different designs too.
Yeah, I mean,
there's like a whole copyright thing that goes on in there too.
We actually play quite a lot of cards. So when we decided on this concept, I got our box of cards, and we have probably 20 different kinds in here. And
hand me a couple, and I'll just pop them in front of the camera.
They're all different. Let me see I mean, you just want the face cards, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I have thought like it would be cool. Maybe we could do this sometimes. Just do like a really long, like draw-a-thon kind of thing where we just make an entire deck of cards.
There's another Jack of Hearts. He's kind of similar.
What is this one?
It's from
High Sierra.
the High Sierra.
It's facing the other way, though.
It's from Independence, Missouri.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the colors. There's no blue in it. It's black instead of red.
Okay.
Not
Let's get you something else.
Not my cup of tea.
Okay. Here's a Jack of Hearts. Again, very similar.
That's exactly the same.
Wow.
So this is actually a deck of cards that was designed by a friend of ours. He designed the back. Look at that.
Isn't that cool?
We have another friend who is a magician. And so our friend, who actually just recently passed away, designed this special set of owl eye cards, the back of them. The rest of it is kind of normal. I think for a magician, you kind of want that so that it doesn't seem suspicious, you know?
All right, I saw someone here in the chat from the origin site of these cards, which was a fabulous trip we took to Vienna.
Same thing. Different background, different back, but I think that's the thing is if you made a whole bunch of these, you might want to think about printing the back, like maybe doing like a gel print or something like that.
Oh, here's one that people who are regulars will appreciate.
Here's the Guinness ones.
Yes, us and our booze.
Lovely day for a Guinness.
A lovely day for a Guinness.
Are they all the same? They all have the same toucans on them?
No, every single one is different. Literally every single one is different. Look, I'll just give you a little stack.
Yeah, so those are all different.
I mean, how cool is that? Probably makes it easier to cheat, right?
It's only the face cards that have the Guinness ads on them?
Oh, here's something interesting. Let me see if I can find a Jack. Okay, I couldn't find a Jack.
Something tells me I'm not going to get to do all three of these cards. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Probably because of a lot of chatting. Here, look at this. Look at that. Wowza.
Whoa, that's the face card.
Yeah.
And that's the back. Yeah, this is a special deck to play hearts with.
Oh,
cool.
is that what it is? I see.
But hearts, because hearts is just face cards, right?
No.
No.
In fact, look at that. That's from the Hearts deck. That's cute, huh?
So what is the game that we've played where you only have certain deck cards?
Euchre.
Euchre, right?
Yes. All my Midwestern peeps in this chat are going to go, woohoo! Because not everybody plays euchre. But my family's from Detroit, and we are... Okay, here's one that you're going to love.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. That's the Tim Burton deck. How cool is that? You see? That, I love that lettering. Look at that J. You see some more of the Tim Burton ones?
Yeah.
So good. Joker.
So cute.
Gives me chills almost, literally. And then this, you see, this is what I really like, is these just the number cards. They're all hand-drawn. That is really great.
I mean, even the backs of those are cute, right?
Yeah, no, they're just really good. So yeah, so that's really inventive, except for all the aces are the same. Oh, that's a bit disappointing. All the queens are the same. All right, so there aren't actually, there's 3 face cards and a joker. Oh well, close but no cigar.
Whatever.
I guess Tim Burton has better things to do than design. Oh, look at that king. Yeah, so cool.
All right.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Thank you. All right.
We love to play cards. Hence why we are thinking of hosting a poker night, which I think will be fun.
But we don't like gambling is the problem.
I think we can do it without it being real money. Like C's Candy.
Like strip poker?
I assure you, nobody wants to see that. People will pay us to keep our clothes on.
Well, that's a really strong incentive to not win or to not let it on to.
That's when you know you have to cheat because you don't want to be part of, burning your eyes.
All right, so I think that's pretty good. I think I'm going to stop there. Now I'm going to add color because this is after all watercolor postcards, and that's really what I want to spend my time is doing some cool watercoloring. I got my trusty set here of watercolors. Not that you really need to see those, but let's get into it. So yeah, I want to keep these nice and bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do watercolor, and then I'm going to do colored pencil on top of it.
Are you going to do watercolor pencil or just colored pencil?
I'm probably going to use my favorite colored pencils of the moment, which are water soluble. So this is cad red, which means that it is reasonably opaque and it's actually kind of covering my lines a bit, but I don't really mind because it shows a bit through it. And what I could also do is I can go back with a colored pencil and I can kind of bring it up. Definitely not symmetrical, but that's okay. Let's see, another red heart down here. So we're just looking through the books of the year. Got a lot of books this year. Read a lot this year. Currently reading a number of books, but one of them is the biography of the bass player from Rush.
Geddy Lee. My Rush obsession.
JJ is obsessed with Rush, so I bought her this Geddy Lee book for Christmas.
It's so good. It's so good.
Now I'm reading it.
He's a fantastic writer. He's a cool guy. I mean, he's Canadian. He's, there's a lot of...
Is that
a rock
suggests
star...
that he is cool?
No, I'm saying a rock star mentality is usually not to be quite so modest or introspective. And I think he, he's like the anti-rock star, but he's the coolest.
We went to see Rush at Madison Square Garden.
I think we've mentioned this on the show before.
There were like 250,000 people there. Absolutely every single one of them was a man, except for one woman. That woman is right here now today.
I'm here to represent.
The only female
prog
Rush
rock.
fan.
I love Rush.
I have to say,
R.I.P. Neil Peart.
I can't stand it. Yeah. I mean, it's not that I can't stand it. I tolerate it.
It's not for you.
I would much rather listen to Polyvetzian Dance No. 2 by Borodin.
Borodin.
All right, switching to some cad yellow.
But we also just finished, both of us, reading a book that had been recommended to us about 1 billion times, and we finally read it, called All the Beauty in the World.
What a great book.
I think his name is Bringley?
Bringley, yeah.
Bringley? Peter Bringley? I can't remember his first name. Anyway, it's a gorgeous book about a memoir from a guy who was a guard at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, and it's just...
For 10 years, he was just a guard.
It's just, honestly, everything about it is exceptional. It's just, there's nothing, it's everything about it is positive and nice.
I wrote about it in the studio notebook last week, which is my newsletter that you're welcome to subscribe to. And, a lot of people have told me that they've gone out and bought it. So there's probably like a massive surge of popularity for that book right now, as there should be. It's just interesting because you've all seen museum guards and you wonder, like, what's that really like? What's that like as a job? And it turns out it's an absolutely fascinating job. And the kind of people who have it are just so different and it's so unexpected. I love learning about a world like that where it's this kind of sort of familiar world, but you never really knew anything about it. And then you learn so much, and it makes you want to go to a museum immediately, and it makes you want to talk to guards, people who stand there surrounded by art all day.
Yeah. So we recommend that.
Patrick Bringley.
Patrick, yes. Very good. Also, the Christian Cooper book.
Yeah.
What is it? My Life in Birding? I got to Google. I don't want to get it wrong because this is an important book.
So Christian Cooper is another guy who we're fans of. He is...
Better Living Through Birding.
Yeah, which is a very odd title. And you might go like, what a nerdy thing. And in a way, it is a celebration of nerdiness on all levels. So Chris Cooper is unusual in the birding world because he's an African American, and that's apparently not that common. He's an artist. He's an artist. He worked
at Marvel or DC.
He worked at Marvel, and he wrote a lot of like major comic books. He's a writer, and this book is like his memoir of being a birder, but also just his memoir of being
a human,
being a gay black man in the comic industry. And you may never have heard of him, but if you have, it may be because of this incident that happened in Central Park during the pandemic, where he was birding, as he often does in Central Park, because Central Park is an incredible reservoir for birds because every bird on the migration path stops in Central Park. And there's just thousands of species. We've done bird counts there, and it's just amazing what's going on there. And he was doing some bird watching, and there's a woman who had a dog that was off the leash, and the dog was running around, and you're not allowed to have dogs off the leash in Central Park. And he just mentioned that to her. He said, it'd be better if your dog wasn't off the leash. And she kind of went berserk and called the police saying that he had attacked her. And if you read this book, you go, there's no way on earth that this guy ever attacked anybody. He's the sweetest, gentlest soul. And but he was videotaping the whole thing because he happened to have the camera out because he was looking for birds. And it was shown that it was completely not true.
It didn't end well for her. Let's not belabor this. Kind of.
But that's why people have heard about it. But anyway, he went on to have an incredible show on the National Geographic Channel.
We've talked about this show.
I'm going to keep talking about it. Sorry, I'm getting paid a lot of money by the sponsor. And he has the show on the National Geographic Channel all about birding. And if you've never considered birding, it's a really I think particularly as an artist, it's a very interesting. It uses some of the same skills that drawing uses in terms of observation.
Yeah, really seeing.
That kind of thing, just being calm and careful and observant and all that kind of stuff. So another book that we recommend. Sorry, I'm just going on and on.
Well, those
so the book isn't about the story. The book is his memoir. I think he mentions the story because
we haven't gotten to that. We're trying to not binge the book.
Yeah.
Another book we read that we really loved is called Hello, Beautiful by Anne Napolitano. I think it's a fiction.
It's a novel.
Bestseller. Everyone's probably heard of it. What a fantastic, just love spending time with these characters. It's a multi-generational kind of family story. And we recommend a lot of nonfiction. That's a fiction book we really enjoyed.
Yeah, we like kind of like big epic stories that cover lots of generations. Those are interesting to us. So those are the book recos for the end of the year. If you're looking for something,
we're also reading the newest Stephen King book, Holly.
I just finished it.
We love Stephen King. He is a national treasure.
Yeah, and this is a book written really during and in some ways about the pandemic.
Yeah, it's called Holly.
All right, so now I'm just taking my Inktense colored pencils, and I'm just kind of going in and, just adding some zhuzhing it here and there where I think it needs it, just to keep it looking nice and a bit more pop. And then I'm also taking, with this Inktense, it is water-based, so you can turn it into ink, but then when it dries, it's pretty water-resistant, so it has a nice kind of permanence to it that I like. And the colors are just, wow. So, I think I made up this shape here, but I didn't put any color in the background. This is a bit of Payne's gray. So I'm trying to keep this to sort of the range of colors that cards have, primaries. But I'm also, like I added some color to his face, and I'm going to add a little bit more. Give him some nice cheeks, give him a bit of a red nose, that kind of stuff, and then soften it all up a bit. Because again, you could make this very graphic, like a printed, screen printed thing, hard edges, or you could add tone and shading if you wanted to also. You can also decide if you want to work upside down.
That's kind of fun.
Right? Yeah. You could draw the whole thing upside down. We've done those upside down drawings before, and
people are always just amazed at what they come up with.
Yeah, the upside down drawing is interesting because this is an opportunity to do 2 upside down drawings. And I like putting this Inktense on top of watercolor because it just increases the vibrance and gives it a bit of texture. It's different. But you could spend a lot of time just doing the little tiny details that make this kind of special. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have time for more, so I'm just going to keep working on this one.
Do you think you'll be able to make enough invitations to send out to
our poker party?
Yeah, I think we probably need 12.
Yeah, our poker party that's going to be in late November of 2025. Yeah, absolutely.
Danny's got a project.
We'll be totally ready by then. Probably not before.
I mean, as I think Janice mentioned earlier in the chat, one could use an iPad. But then...
one could. Yeah. I
think...
you
wouldn't be using the gorgeous Hahnemuhle watercolor postcards.
It's true. It would be a different thing. And I think, again, I wouldn't do it on the iPad for the reason that it would make me feel like I was getting too hard-edged, too graphic-y. I love drawing on the iPad, but in this case, I kind of want to move away from the graphic nature of the card design, because I don't want to end up with something that just looks like a real card. That's kind of not the point of this. The point is to make it look recognizably a card and even functionally a card, but also, pretty different so that it was worth the effort.
I think I'll try to do mine later, but I'm probably going to use markers. Feels like a job for markers to me.
Really? Yeah, you could. You could use those...
Poscas would be fun.
Or even these kind of fine liners.
Yeah.
Fine liners. They would be good. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Are you going to make the J's? You're going to leave them empty?
What do you think? I guess I'll make them red.
Flip it upside down so we can see what your reverse looks like.
It's kind of different. It's definitely not symmetrical.
Which side did you do first? Do you remember?
This one, I drew this first, and then I drew this. So he has a pointy nose. He's a little bit more aquiline. He's a bit more beefy. Shall I show you the other ones I did?
Sure.
So here's a Jack I did yesterday.
Practice Jack.
So kind of different.
Cute.
Two different Jacks. That's the Jack of Spades. And then I also did this Queen. So here I drew initially with a brush pen. So here my idea was I'm going to do with a brush pen. And actually I kind of started doing the whole thing with watercolor, and then I put line on top of it. So it's kind of a bit looser. I like her face, though.
I kind of love that queen.
Yeah, her kind of outrage. And then this is her...
Her outrage.
Her sort of... This is her other side. It's a little bit more meek. A little bit more cute. This is sort of the... Off with his head. And then I also made a king.
Wow, so you don't even have that many more to go to make a
I could make a
set
whole
of
deck.
invites.
I mean, to make a whole deck, you need 12, and then the jokers. So I'm already a third of the way through.
Sweet. You know what? I'll do a couple, and then I'll relieve your burden.
And then we've got
I'll
in the
do
background here. It's got the write your postcard. And then you could write, "Come to our poker party. Bring all your money.
Bring your C's."
We will be playing with marked cards." So there you go. Do you think we're done?
I mean,
It's a little early, but
10 minutes to spare.
well, I think that's okay. Let people can continue working.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with landing the plane on time a little early. Get you to your gate just a little early today.
Thank God we're not traveling during the holidays. Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
We just don't want to go anywhere. It's so nice in Phoenix right now. We have roses blooming.
Sometimes magicians use these big cards, don't they? Pick a card, any card. But I think it would be cool to figure out like how to do a pattern on the back that was the same, that you could just go chung chung. Because you obviously don't want to draw the backs of all of them, because then they...
Yeah, but if you're using postcards and you're mailing them, you can't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We have to write we have to write get your C's on order.
We could tell people to bring...
Go to the store.
We could tell people to bring their card to the party so we can get it back.
Oh, no, it's a gift.
Let's hell with that.
Don't be stingy.
Audible has the actress who played Holly do the narration of the book.
Oh, I love that actress.
She's really great, but I have to say the Holly in the book is a completely different character from the one who's on the show, I thought. Don't you think so?
I've only just started the book.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to stop foot dragging and get out of here.
How about see you next week? See you next year.
Yeah, we're not doing this again until next year. I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I think we've done enough. I think we've done at least 50 Draw With Me's this year.
I think that's true. I mean, we had 1 or 2 weeks where we were sick or traveling. But yeah.
Carla says, I may make a real deck using sublimation. What is that? Sublimation.
I don't know.
I ordered a blank deck from Amazon, she says, and now I know how I'm going to use them. What does that mean? What is sublimation?
You know what? Somebody fill us in on that next week.
It's true. We have to go. Thanks very much for joining me. By the way,
if you want to send us C's candy or anything else, or want a postcard in the mail, I've just put our P.O. box in there.
it's true. If you want to do that, haven't we had enough damn candy?
No.
These holidays.
You know,
are good.
I got a box of C's, and what did I do?
Ate them in a day.
Very magnanimously shared them.
3 of them. Yes. So draw with me. Write to us at drawwithme@sketchbook.com if you would like to get your own set of these postcards.
We have 7 sets to give away.
So
how cool is this sponsor?
Yeah, so you're almost certainly going to get one.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if you've won recently, don't bother because that's not how giveaways work.
Yeah. Hashtag SBS Draw with me. Post your cards. Share your cards.
Give us a thumbs up. How about that?
Hold on, just 1 second.
Sorry.
One thing at a time.
I thought you were done.
One thing at a time, because we, if you post them and you label them on Facebook or on Instagram, hashtag SBS Draw with me, then we will add them to our little gallery at the beginning of the show. We can see all these cards together, all the jacks. If you've done other cards, show them to us. It's so inspiring to see what you make. Danny'sEssays.com. I write an essay every Friday. I'm writing my New Year's essay today, in fact, to send out tomorrow. So please feel free to subscribe. It's free at Danny'sEssays.com. And I've been posting this series of this Twiglet.
There's our little girl.
I've been posting a series of drawing tutorials called How to Draw. I posted one this morning, which will be helpful to you if you want to get refreshed. Oh, a sublimation printer, she says. Take a picture of the drawing and print it from a sublimation printer and iron it onto the blank cards. Wow.
Wow.
Super cool. Check out, they're all here on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll know when I do new ones. I'm trying to cover everything you need to know to draw, and I've done, I think, 7 videos so far. So,
and more to come.
More to come, yes. One came today. Enjoy it. Have fun working on your cards. Have a great, happy New Year.
And safe.
If you want.
Don't go crazy on me.
Personally, I'm going out.
It's an amateur
going out on the edge.
type of thing to do.
I'm going to go and do some crazy stuff on New Year's Eve.
Take an Uber.
I'm not. I'm going to be
rolling around in the backyard.
I'm going to be running bare-chested through downtown Phoenix.
At 9 p.m.
Bellowing. Happy New Year.
All right,
if you're out there, you'll see me. Have a great day. Talk to you later.
Thanks for being here.